All right, Sans is yes, cool. So we'll go through the first video, wall climbing from Rel. Give me a second to pop that up. Grab it right now. Your panda video, you're not worth it. All right, here we go. It's about 5 minutes.
Hey there folks, Rel here. I've been getting a fair amount of questions regarding wall climbing lately, so I figured it'd be worth sharing exactly what it is and how to do it. I want to preface this by saying though that there are a lot of players with more knowledge of this than myself, and I would like to link at least one of their channels in the video description, so be sure to check that out if you have a vested interest. We'll divide this video into two sections. The first is going to be on wall jumping, and the second is going to be on wall climbing. Wall jumping is something that anyone should be able to do, while wall climbing is something that most commonly requires more than 60 frames per second to pull off well. There are no macros involved or anything tricksy like that, it's just sprinting, jumping, and moving. The most important parts are knowing where it works and where it doesn't. Common places that anyone should be able to pull off. The first is climbing your basic wall tower. First you jump on one of the legs, then you jump onto the protruding bar beneath the lip of the structure. Then you move toward the ledge, spamming spacebar to lift yourself on top of it. The second is the tech plant gate. You run and jump from the very tip of these little nubs that stick out. Then you climb to the top of the leg, and finally you line yourself up with the gate and jump up and over it. The last one is onto a tech plant roof. You can generally climb on top of a turret by spamming the spacebar a couple of times on the side of it, and you should be able to do this without 60 frames per second, but then you just jump on top of the structure. I'm sure there are many more locations than this, but these are the simple ones, the ones you'll have plenty of opportunities to use. Now the last half of this video is going to be devoted to wall climbing, which is borderline exploitative depending on who you talk to, but it also won't get you banned or suspended provided the devs are still filing it under emergent gameplay, as they have been doing for the past couple of years. Wall climbing is done in a very simple way. You press yourself up against a surface, so generally holding sprint and running at the wall or maybe slightly diagonal to the wall, and then you spam your spacebar. That's about it. You do need to have your movement speed for some of this stuff, so at times you'll need to just stop moving and take a rest. Usually you can cling onto the side of a cliff by just standing there, and when your jumping penalties taper off, you can start climbing again. There are a lot of places that you cannot climb, but most things that are almost vertical and not too sloped can be climbed. There are also specific doodads, like this type of barricade, which is very commonly used at various sizes throughout different bases. You can almost always climb these. Trees, up the sides of vehicles, certain parts of walls, all climbable. I don't know nearly all the places, but in the background you're just going to see me climbing various objects at various locations, so you can try and follow along. If this video has been interesting, helpful, or entertaining, please feel free to like, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel, and if you have any specific locations that you'd like to share in the comments section, you're more than welcome to do that. Thanks very much, folks. We're all signing off.
Okay, so
Wait, that was
neat
real?
introduction from Rel. I'm sure many people haven't seen him do YouTube in a long time, but that's one of his more relevant videos. If you like it, you can use it for your various outfits depending where you're from. I recommend it. It's good. Over to slide 3. Gonna be another topic on the amp station and tech plant jumps in general. So we're gonna watch this one too. One moment as I pull up the watch together link for the second video, which will also be fairly short. Basically like a list of trick jumps, so hang tight, you're gonna like a couple of these. Those are at any amp stations that have a triple stack in a box next to it. It's a very common jump. You can do it every amp station tower. Don't understand what just happened there. The grav lift, when you use a grav lift, for those that don't know, if you use it right away and then you fall down on any space on the map that's close to that grav lift, you will not take any fall damage. As long as you use the grav lift and then use it to fall off something afterwards. But if you don't use the grav lift and you fall off at that distance, you'll die. So just a tip.
Shades, I don't know if this is always the case. I've used grav lifts before to avoid the fall damage from orbital strikes.
Okay.
So just throwing out there for anyone in the
Okay.
group.
That's
Yep.
interesting.
I'm sure that works too, because that also negates anything that you fall on. So yeah, he is correct.
It's like a 6-second buff.
Yep. That can be done at any I building that has a jump next to any of the amp station walls. Yo, careful, don't touch the video. Just touch it, it'll rewind.
Man, you could just go straight up that. Didn't know that.
Yep. Like this one too, even though people don't use it very often. Top of the amp station, for those that don't know where that is. Very
I
top.
actually could have used that earlier. I was running with some dudes and we were fighting on the amp station, just putting up beacons on the top.
Go all the way to the top. Yep.
So that one's huge, that little box that he was just on right there. Those little boxes are everywhere and they're often in position where you can get on some kind of roof like that.
That one's very common. Rel shows you guys that one earlier.
Tip on that one, when you jump to land on the the first major jump, one surface is kind of curved, and if you land on that one, you can kind of skip your jumps onto it. But if you hit the side of it, it's kind of flat. It's a little bit harder to catch.
Rel showed that one earlier as well. Yes, you will not die from that jump. Yep. Cool tricks. A lot of cool tricks. Alright, let's head back to the PowerPoint slide. So we're now on slide 4. Gonna be doing tech plants next. There's a set of basically callouts here. We'll kind of go over these like in the PowerPoint first, and then I'm gonna have Doc show you guys the actual callouts, like where it's at inside the tech plant once we go back into the game. For now, I recommend you guys probably like, head over into your game and just like roll over your mouse a bit so you don't get locked out. Then come back to slide 4 when you're done.
That man
Alright.
has 52,000 certs.
Sweet. So back to slide 4, the PowerPoint slide here. Have lane X and lane Y. PowerPoint slide says it's an entire left side. So this is basically the side that's facing where the enemy would be spawning at. So as you guys know, if you're facing where this guy is facing in the picture here, he's facing where the enemy would come from in his direction. So left is always going to be on that side on your left. from where the enemy spawn would be, and then lane Y is on your right, which is the best way to put it. Make more sense as we kind of go through the slides and when you actually see it. Slide 5, pointing out where the jump pads are going to be. So jump pad X and jump pad Y are way out of the way out of this picture. But if you guys know where the actual jump pads are, that's what it's correlating to. Port X or port Y, honestly, we kind of most people call it catwalks nowadays. So we can call it, like some people still call it port, but it's actually catwalk X and catwalk Y. So I'll just quickly go over that real quick. Well, X and catwalk Y. Same reference. X to your left, again, jump pad X to your left as well, jump pad Y is to your right, and catwalk Y is to your right, facing the enemy spawn. Going to slide 6 is the vehicle pool, or what we call the rabbit hole area. The only really important quality to know on this side, when people refer to rabbit hole, you should know exactly where that is. It's at the bottom of the tech plant where people pull vehicles, and more times than not, lots of outfits will decide to go up that route and get slaughtered. That's why it's called the rabbit hole. Going to slide 7 is we're now looking at the other side of the tech plant, right? So in the previous sets of pictures, you guys were on the back side of the tech plant where the balcony was and where the vehicle bay was. This is on the front side of the tech plant, and this picture is showing where Suicide X and Suicide Y are. Again, it's called X and Y on various levels because X is always to your left and Y is always to your right. The reason we call it X and Y is so when you switch lanes or you're looking in a different direction, you usually know where X is if you can remember the corresponding alphabet. X comes first, which is usually to your left, and Y comes next.
Yeah, balcony is probably the prime example. Like,
yep.
It can be confusing which is left and right.
Right,
You always
yep.
know which is X and Y.
Y. So. Alright, slide 8. This is an overlook view of where we're at. It's actually looking backwards now, right? So in a way, this picture might confuse you because he's facing the opposite direction of where the enemy spawn room is, which is why Grinder X now in this picture is towards your right and not your left, and Grinder Y is towards your left and not your right, if that makes sense. Was put in intentionally to kind of test where like people would be looking in whatever direction they're on, so they can get used to like calling it by alphabetical order. Again, if you refer back to slide 4, lane X is always on your left side, and lane Y is always on your right. You're facing the enemy spawn room direction, but if you know which each lane is, based on the alphabet, you'll be okay. And slide 9 is the garage bay.
We're calling it McDonald's more and more often.
And more people are calling it McDonald's, so I can do this, aka McDonald's.
Because of the drive-through?
It's the drive-through, yeah. It's technically a drive-through, right? So, if you want to get into that, feel free to call it McDonald's or Garage Bay. Either way, most people more than not will know what that is in your outfits. So, there's that. Okay, so we're going to stop right there at slide 9 and refer back to this in a little bit. So, head back into the game. I'm going to drive you guys to a tech plant now. And we're going to do some wall jumps and cool stuff like that. And also have Doc for some stuff with y'all, so...
There's a beacon up here to tech.
Oh, there's a beacon. In fact, just take the damn beacon. Forget driving.
You had the Sunday and everything. We were about to have a party bus.
About to have a party bus, but it's okay. He's going to get you there faster. Beacon's already
it's not
there.
about the destination, it's about the journey.
Ah, the journey, yes. There'll be plenty of driving soon, no worries. Alright, so Doc is currently squad lead in this trainee squad. Feel free to find him on your map. He's the star. If you don't know what that is, I'm sure all of you do. Been playing for a long time.
Come on down here to the...
Find him.
I
Go
do
over
not
the
know
calls
my
we just
basic.
talked
go
about.
ahead and just go ahead on in the balcony. We'll go over it real quick.
I do not know my basic shapes of what is a star.
It's all good.
Actually,
Fell off the balcony. We're gonna use the wall jump that Rel just showed you guys to get inside.
All right,
Knock.
everybody off the balcony. Outside. We're going outside. We're all gonna fucking jump back in together. Come on, let's do it.
but I'm inside.
No man left behind. Let's go.
Left
I'm going
behind.
inside.
We're going to the side.
To the side. Yep.
Vehicle,
Over here, you guys.
Shield.
I just did that job.
The best way to do this is to make sure you hit the tip of that little pole when you jump, and it'll help you.
Check it
like,
out. Yeah, like right here where my bullet's hitting.
right.
Yeah, it's a little bit beveled right there. If you hit there, it works great. If you hit on the side, it's kind of square. It doesn't work as well.
Also, another tip for those that don't know that Rel didn't talk about is if you look straight up, like in the sky and jump, you actually gain more height with your jump versus not. Yes. So if you want to make it a little easier yourself getting up to the tech plant, before you do your jump, look up and then jump, and then you'll be able to land on that pebble that I'm shooting at a little bit easier. So I was able to do it the first try just by looking up all the way up.
Alright, if you want a little bonus, when you finally get up here, stay on that very first gray rectangle that's there. And if you do a running jump off of it, you can reach the catwalk.
Really?
And now when you hit the catwalk, you'll just kind of smash face first into it, tap your jump key a couple times, and you'll climb up on it.
I mistimed that.
But now I can't get back out.
No trouble, Striker?
Did not know that.
Okay, there you go.
Alright,
Yeah,
tell you
yeah.
what,
I'm
let's
just
see if
trying
anybody
multiple
remembers
times.
anything
Okay.
from the slide. I want everybody to come upstairs by Grinder Y. If you're downstairs, come up by Grinder Y. Okay, Shades is retarded, yeah.
What? Huh? Man, I ain't training. I'm just doing the training.
Alright, yep, Bear came up the right way. Alright, so yeah, that's
I am grateful to you.
yeah, you guys just came up the the grinders here. When you're positioning on the grinders, a couple things to kind of keep in mind. There's a little gap right here where I'm facing out where you can actually assist on the suicide. Right? If you have to descend down to the midpoint, keep your back kind of to the wall. That way you're kind of maximizing the head glitch that you get from this railing, because you might find a surprise bolter waiting on you when you're swinging back down here. All right, one quick trick jump in here. This little piece of geometry that I'm looking at right here. I'm gonna like tap, 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 jump up here, and then slide along there. Everybody see if you can get up here real quick. So two things you can do from there. One is it gives you a nice firing position, on the grinder itself, because you can climb up on that thing from either side. Right. The other thing, if you're able to, you can make the jump over to about where I am here on the catwalk. And then if you kind of come down here, everybody jump down so we're all together here. There's one more piece of geometry right here. It's the same thing. Kind of gives you maybe a... Oh, what the fuck?
Sorry.
Yeah. Alright, so anyway, to finish up, anybody tell me what jump pad this is? I just went up.
Jump pad Y.
Jump pad Y. Alright. And let's see... I don't know, do you want me to be covering any kind of positioning here, Sage, or just go over the callouts?
I mean, they can learn some positioning. We have a lot of time, so I mean, we're covering too much there.
Little bit of
Do we have
positioning.
any NGs that can put a hard light barrier down on Grinder Y?
Question. Are the
Yep.
balcony doors X and Y too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the callouts for the doors are simply balcony X and balcony Y. Nice thing about that is, no matter what direction you're coming from, those are the same. Whether you're coming in, if you're coming in, it's Y is on your right. Positioning on here on the balcony doors, you'll typically want like a couple heavies paired up. That way they can kind of rotate, reload, shit like that. Plus they can get a little crossfire in here. You want to be, using this edge of the opening, to get a little bit of client side going on, as well as keeping yourself low so you get just a little bit of head glitch, but not too much. Those guys should usually be backed up by some kind of medic. They can kind of get one up. Medic generally stand in the middle. The center area, you can head glitch off of here towards either door. It's just great, keep yourself real low and positioned. Only expose as much of the door as you want to put your crosshairs on. Right. Also a little bit risky, but you can get up here. There's a little gap right here on this railing that you can fire through if you need to cover one particular door. Leaves you pretty vulnerable to the other one, but keep it in mind. Also, generally speaking, whatever squad is holding the balcony, they're going to be responsible for the rabbit hole. The rabbit hole can be seen from my position right here. It's not real necessary to get way down there. And generally, you only want to have like kind of one guy watching the rabbit hole. Everybody gets kind of thirsty for kills, wants to watch that thing and stuff, but one guy's enough to watch it. He can call if a lot of people come out. Everybody with me? Alright, also, whatever crew is on the balcony, generally responsible for keeping an eye out on the catwalks, that occasional light assault that tries to go over and hit the point. Alright, so let's head on down. Actually, let's go through the point here real quick, point out just a couple little trick jumps. Probably just one, really. There's some variants of it you can explore on your own, but this is the one that seems kind of useful. This piece of geometry right here is a little bit tall, and there's a bevel on this one server block here. So you can get up here. Mind you, once you get up, proceed on over quickly. You're going to get shot from every direction if you stay up here even a second. But it'll give you the drop on somebody behind there. Alright, there's lots of other little trick jumps all over the place in here to kind of get up to high places. They're usually kind of one-trick ponies. I'm not really going to go over them. Let's go ahead and head on out the suicides. And we'll have, I think the next on the slide deck is what, triple stack?
Yep. And once you're done with those jumps outside, I'm gonna go over a couple of them back inside the tech plant that are engineer related and also red angle related, so they can get a little bit of that too.
Yeah, there's some good wall positioning you need to know. I don't know if I'm good at this jump, but these silos are climbable. If I can find the right piece of geometry here.
You have to hit the black line.
Yeah, where's it at?
Ah, the favorite of this is.
I suck at this.
Yeah, this one.
I don't know
So
if that one's climbable.
There's a couple ways to do this one. The best tip is when you find one of these white spots, right? One of these like white shining like poles. The best idea is you either do it sideways a little bit. So what I mean by that is like you're gonna move your mouse like left, right, and try to hug like the wall itself, and it should boost you all the way up. But that's a difficult way to do it. But it's one of the faster ways to do it. So I kind of just went up and down, right? Or you go number two, and there is this black strip here that somebody said earlier. Really hitting the black strip is to not aim for the black strip completely, just be in the general direction of it. It's better to like touch the sides of the strip with your mouse on either the left or right side, and then go up that way, but not actually touch the line directly. Because if you touch the line directly, what will probably happen is as you're trying to like stay up and go up vertical, you might end falling down halfway through, which is a problem. So just keep that in mind.
So probably not the silo to really do it on during combat, but some of these others that are a little bit further back may be decent. Come on inside the crescent. Alright, so the downstairs door in the crescent building are just, they're just numbered as doors, right? Door 1, door 2. Door 1 is going to be on our left here from the inside, and door 2 is there on the right. Alright, come on upstairs. The doors over here, they're going to be called balcony. So there's balcony 1's the furthest one from us. Balcony 2's in the middle. Balcony 3's on the right. So door 1 and 2, and then balcony 1, 2, 3. We don't use the callouts much, but these walkways are technically labeled X and Y to align with the tech plant.
Yeah. Sometimes there's also the strip that's in the biolab too. You guys will see that's yellow. If you have no idea what those X and Y callouts are, because they're barely used even amongst B-Way players, just call banana and people will just know the general direction of where you are.
Yeah, banana, crescent.
Yep. Since we're at the crescent building here, everybody come downstairs and we'll show you a neat little trick.
Yeah. Go up on the rails.
Everybody come down. Yep. So if you ever find yourself stuck, whether it's outside of this tech plant or even inside a biolab, there's always this black wall right here. You can use this wall to ascend to the crescent staircase. All you have to do is just hit the spacebar until you bounce off. So the idea is to not try to do anything crazy. Just hit it till you hit the top, and the wall that's at the top will just naturally bounce you off to the top of the crescent building.
Wow,
Yeah,
I wish I knew that like years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, now you know now.
The easiest way to do it is not to try too hard. Just go straight up.
Yep.
Let it do it
Just
for
go
you.
straight up. Yep. Let
keep on
the
going,
verticality
it'll do
take
it.
you. All right. So were you about to go over the powerhouse dock? Probably.
Yeah, I was gonna go to
Okay.
the
All right.
powerhouse.
Let's not do that yet.
Maybe
Let's
come back around to this.
let's go back to the tech plant first and cover that real quick before those walls go. All right. Back to the tech plant real quick. Then we'll come back and finish up the rest of the buildings here.
All right. Yeah, because we're gonna go through powerhouse and then
Yep.
on to triple stack.
Got it.
We'll go over, I think, some like engineer walls. One of my pet peeves, man, on the engineer walls, on the grinders, make the enemies have to take a longer path. It's like put some
You guys
tower
get
defense
back to
into
the
it.
tech plant here. I'm setting up something. I already set up 2 preset walls for balcony players. If you have multiple engineers or even one engineer with 2 shields in your outfit that knows good wall placement, he's gonna definitely like these for sure. So the way you guys can see how these are kind of set up, right? Does anyone know the purpose of why I put these walls the way they are?
Right angle peak.
And one more thing, even more important.
You can shoot through these grates without the other side hitting you.
Yes.
Negates client side.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's basically what it's for. So if anybody wants to volunteer and come over and stand as if you were pushing the balcony, just like make yourself visible to the player that's hiding behind the wall, you're gonna have to tell. I want you to tell the class what you see. So let's have okay, wash machine's already there. So wash machine, first thing I want you to do is to crouch first, and then as you're crouching, I want Saturday Robot to tell me what he sees.
What do you mean, like right now?
Yeah,
I
like what
can
do you see right
his
now?
head. But
Okay.
I can't shoot it.
Right, you can't shoot it. And Wash Machine, you are here's the thing. So Wash now has his head standing up, right? He doesn't have to tilt it down. If you guys don't know about shield placements, usually if you crouch behind a shield that is like, not on a height, like a ceiling height, or in this case, like placed on like a height advantage, like this one is, or the other one, if you look down with your shield, you can't be seen and shot at. The thing about this one that's special is that Wash Machine isn't even looking down, like actually straight down. He's just looking forward, and he can't be shot at. So that's the special thing about these walls here at the tech plant. That's one. All right, Wash Machine, I want you to make an angle where you can actually shoot him, and then set a robot. You can tell me what you see once that's done. If you can back up from that, so we can actually do that. You get shot at, robot.
I don't know who shot me. Do it again. Yep.
All right.
Wow, he can shoot through that? Damn.
Yep, so if you don't know what's going on, come over to where Set Robot is right now, and you'll see what's happening
Yeah,
on
I can't shoot him.
screen. But, alright, take another shot at him. You guys see that? Does it look like Mr. Headshot can be shot at right now?
Negative.
He's basically hiding behind the perfect wall.
A one-way shield.
The one-way shield. That's what we just made with this shield here. So for all you engineers or inspiring engineers out there, this is B-Way 101, how to make proper walls. And you can do it on both sides. So if anybody wants to demonstrate on the other side, it will make the exact same thing happen.
This is like a mini spawn room. I can see your
That's
head.
base. But Doc, so the key to doing that right is you want to. So you see where you're standing, Doc, right? If you leverage this properly, you'll be able to do it right. Right? That's the idea. If you leverage it properly, or if you take a shot out on this side of the map, Striker can still see me, but you have the advantage to come back, right? So there's multiple ways you can do this. Make sure if you're going to do it from the top side, you make it perfect. Can't shoot you back. Okay. Doc, you might be standing too far up. Okay. Alright, Regal, give it a shot.
Check your fire.
Nope, too far.
Okay.
Let me see.
Line them up.
Let me see it done again. Hey, Shades, do it again real quick.
Just set the
can't-
wall
I can't
wrong
quite-
tilt as well, so that could be an issue. But let me see.
Is this something fairly new?
This was so Recursion invented things when the walls came out. I just perfected it. This is currently a B-Way Hell trade secret, but obviously I'm passing it out, so it's no longer a trade secret.
This NG wall is slightly under the rail. The other one was on top of it.
Yep, that's gonna be the major difference. So it depends on like the placement of the shield holder too. So I apparently didn't make this one perfect, which might be a problem. So when you're doing it, there's gonna be a little bit of area you can play with. The idea is you gotta nail it. If you don't nail it, you're gonna end up having what we had here as a problem. So again, for second shot, hopefully it'll be perfect this time.
Should take some screenshots.
Yeah, you guys can take screenshots. Don't be afraid to do so.
I mean,
hell,
hell,
players too that I know this existed.
hell, I'm recording. I meant you, so we know where to place it if we ever want to play NG. Hell, I'm recording. I meant you, as in if an NG wants to replace it, they know where to put it.
Are you supposed to shoot through the wall or over the wall?
Over the wall.
Okay.
Shit, this one's perfect, but fucking the usual. Okay, got it.
Regal found the correct place. I can't hit him at all.
There we go. Regal, excellent work. Get back in that spot, and then everybody else go to the other side, and you'll see where he's standing. Come back if you want to take reference.
Bear, I can still hit.
Wait.
Regal, I can't hit. Regal, I can't.
Okay.
I just shot. Bear.
Someone was
it's
shooting
weird
me.
because
Can you-
like the hitbox. Yeah. Can see the tiniest bit of his head.
Yep. So it's gonna depend on the skill of the guy who is.
Wait a minute. Your geometry,
wall, so-
your head geometry only changes if you're in the kneel position. The rest of the time it's fixed.
From the still can see head.
If you see head, like that's not too much an issue. It's whether you can actually shoot that head or not. Then you know if he's standing in the wrong place. Because as you guys saw with Wash Machine, like you saw his head, but you couldn't shoot him right earlier at the other wall placement.
The Lord giveth, and the Lord
Also
taketh away.
depends. It's a two skill user thing, right? The engineer, the guy who's the engineer placing the wall has to be skilled at it, and the player who's using the wall also has to be skilled at where he's standing. So it works great when both players are really skilled at using this technique. But if either one fails, you're fucked. So just keep that in mind. It's very hard to do. So
minimum fail would be if the engineer can do both.
yeah, in a perfect world, the engineer can do both and set up his own walls and become the player you always wanted. But
Then give him an LMG.
give him LMG and then he's perfect. But you know, it's always happen.
Ceasefire. I am an ally.
Does anyone have any questions about these wall placements and like how they work and stuff?
Can't you just back away while you shoot over the top of it to see where you need to be?
Yeah, that's what
If you're the attacker shooting the guy at the wall.
No. If you're behind the wall.
Okay. Yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely. You can also do that as well. There's many ways to use this wall, right? You don't have to just set up the perfect angle where you can't be shot at, but you can shoot at them. You can also use it to like back out of cover, or use it to peek from the side and hit targets as well, because you can do that, right, and still get back in cover in time. Of course, you'll be shot at, but like you still have this wall to use, and it's a great fallback plan, right? These walls are meant to be used when the enemy starts breaching the balcony, because once you lose the balcony, there's not too many places to hide, right, if you're a defender. But by making these walls here, you start creating angles that they have to defend against, and this is basically a second layer of defense. In fact, it's like I would call it like a greater wall than the first, right, that they had to deal with breaching the balcony, because getting into the balcony is already difficult without like maxes and like coordinated pushes. Trying to get through this on a second level is demotivating on the other side. So if you use it right, it's perfect. Just if you use it wrong, you're gonna look stupid. So those two things in mind.
So
Come to a grinder wall.
The wall. Okay. All right. Let's head over to the staircases again, folks. The grinder walls.
in interest of fair trade, if you're defending a tech plant, one of the resecure methods is gun deck drop to teleport.
Okay. So a couple things about the right angle peek. As you guys already know about the right angle peek, when you do right angle peek, it's because you're peeking from the right, and then you're shooting from the left, and it's not the other way around. So for those that are confused about what the message is, that's what it's for. So I'm gonna show you guys first the 5-4 method, because you can do a 5-4 in the staircase. So the 5-4 method is pretty simple. If you're an engineer and you have 2 shields, you place down your shield that's on slot 5 first. Then you place down your shield that's on slot 4, and you'll be able to place it right next to your slot 5 shield. One isn't exactly perfect because we have a little placement here. But more times than not, if you guys place down your 4 shield first and then your 5, you won't be able to do even a diametrically close angle as these two. So just keep that in mind. Reserve hard light barriers are different than hard light barriers.
Also, try something, Shade. Since you got the shields, come put something up here real quick. Instead of putting it at the top of the stair, put it at like the first step down. Can put one at the top of the stair, but like put it like one step down.
Gotcha. All right, we doing a right angle peek at this? Or you want me to do a straight up flat regular?
It's like flat regular.
Flat regular. Okay, so right in the middle then. Great. Okay, you got it. Oh no. Okay.
All right, so try to jump one of these from below.
That'll slow you down very much. Isn't there a way to do it where like they can't even jump over it at all?
Yes, so that is better. It's better. That's usually done better during doorways. In fact, I should have an engineer class instead of. So I will plan an engineer class sometime soon. How about? Yeah, you can do that. So I can't really demonstrate like right now with those staircases, but I can do it with a doorway, which is better representative. Doing that. The tip for really doing it at a doorway.
We're gonna be heading out to the powerhouse and triple stack here in a second.
Yeah. Is that you have to like actually put your shield up at an angle. Unfortunately, I'm not a master at this. I'm still working on myself, but you have to angle one side to be about like 75% of like the wall that's already existing, that's already been placed in the game, and then your wall, right? And then angle it about 25% to the other side, so it makes like a 75-25 kind of like angle, and then it'll make it impossible for you to just walk through it, right? So in this case, I think I did it pretty much right. You won't be able to. Some people think they can walk through this, right? This is looks like it's a walkable one for most players, and they'll try to, but they'll get stuck. Then they have to jump over it. In that case, you're talking about the shield method where you can't jump over 2 double stacks of walls. That is no longer a possible thing to do, but you can make it difficult for them to jump over it. So if a player happens to try to jump over to his right, he's gonna have a hard time doing it, or he won't be able to do it at all. So in this case, when you see me like hugging the wall here, I'm trying to jump over it, but I can't. It's not letting me. But if I hug it a little bit towards the left, I'm gonna have a difficult time, but I can still get through after the second or third try. It just depends on how the player approaches the wall. If they know what they're doing, this is nothing. If they don't know what they're doing, which is more people, you're gonna give them a really hard time. But remember, again, don't make a straight angle. It has to be like.
Did I do it right, Shades? On the other one?
Check here.
That seems so mean to noobs.
Visually speaking, no. Concept speaking, yes. So
yeah,
you see,
I know I wouldn't be able to.
So like a new player would know he wouldn't be able to get through that, right? That's the problem. If you go check mine out, it looks like you can, which is the difference. You want to make it look visually easy to do, right? The difference. Like mine has more space in between. It's got that little gap. It's like, oh yeah, that looks like it's plenty of space. Make it more visually appealing, and it's good. Otherwise, concept-wise, yeah, you got it. Put it at an angle, so that's perfect. Okay, so Doc, we're doing what? Powerhouses next?
Yeah, it's good to do powerhouse.
Gotcha. All right, so for you powerhouse nerds, that slide set's gonna be between slide set 14 to 16.
Yeah, come on in through the crescent. Come upstairs. We'll go across this little catwalk.
I was gonna do it live, but do you ever need to refer back to the slide set 14 to 16 for that one? I had to have an engineer class. Holy shit. Yeah, one of these days. Rico's gonna go back to attack drive and be like, Shades taught me some max tricks today with walls. Prepare yourself.
So I have a question. So you said facing spawn when you're in the tech room, left is X, or is it facing away from spawn?
So if you're standing on the balcony looking out over the point, X is on your left.
And what about this? Since you're facing the opposite direction, but sometimes there's a spawn facing this way.
So these walkways correspond to the tech plane itself, right? So here, hold on, let me just do this. 1 second.
No tricks for tech.
Tricks are for kids anyway.
I guess.
Adults are just kids who have to act in a certain way, yo.
This little chicken is always fun.
Almost pretty close, bear with. Just, you actually made it. That's
Alright, look at your map. It's like that.
Hold on, IFL.
Wait, what? Oh.
Yep, it's like a line right down the middle of it all. Everything on one side's X, everything on the other side's Y.
What are we talking about?
Look at your, bring up your actual map, your M key.
I see.
Just out of curiosity, why didn't you carry over the X and Y to the banana building bottom floors?
Wait, that's
we don't really use the X and Y in the banana building that much. It's not a commonly known call out. But really the crescent building tends to be its own, you know, so we just go with, you know, doors 1, 2.
Wait, I thought, are those switched? I'm very confused. I thought X was Y and Y was X looking at the map.
That's for the tech plan, but he's talking about a crescent building, which is completely different.
No, it's all down the center the same.
X is always the side of
Doc,
the
you're gonna confuse them like that. You need to. So, well, I think what Doc is saying is he's saying if you're at a tech plant base, then it corresponds to the spawn. That makes sense. Does that make sense to you guys?
Well, wait a minute. Go back to the slides, yo, and you have X on the side that Y is of the point.
Let me see your slides. Maybe your slides fucked up.
Yeah, looking at slide 5, yo.
Also, these barriers don't prevent me from going through.
Yeah, check it out. So slide Y, no, everything on your left there is X, and everything on the Y.
No, he's on the balcony. No, this guy's on the balcony here. Yeah, this is right. Yeah.
He is on the balcony, and the left side of him, he's facing towards the point on the balcony, and to the left of him it says it's X.
Yeah, because
on here,
I'll point it on the map.
Oh shit! Wait, no, you're not. I forgot where the balcony is. We're all
Okay.
I was retarded. We're good. We good.
Oh, okay.
All right, all good. All
Okay,
good.
we're
All right.
good.
So is everybody with me here inside the power plant? We are in the room that is collectively named after its 2 doors, which are the double back doors, aka the dubs. So that's left dub and right dub, and this room is collectively called the dubs. This little box in the middle varies in kind of size and shape, but we call it a server. Our scrim team sometimes calls this whole room the server room, but generally speaking, this little placement here in the middle of it is the server. So we're in dubs. Now these 2 doors that lead out into the next room that I'm just going to run in a circle between, these are called the 50s, right? They're like half, it kind of divides the upper half of the room, the 50-50s. They're just collectively called the 50s, nothing else to it. This room that I'm in out here next door to the dubs, this upstairs area, this is called the hallway. Doesn't really look much like a hallway, but it's the most hallway looking thing in the building. All right, at the top of the hallway, at one end is the skinny stairs that goes out skinny door, right? At the other end is fat. These are fat stairs, and then our doors are numbered left to right down here. Door 1 on your left, door 2's in the center, and door 3's on the right. If you say downstairs, generally people mean kind of underneath where the SCU's kind of at. That's downstairs. If they say lobby, they mean this downstairs area down around the fat. Oftentimes, though, kind of in the heat of combat and stuff, if you just shout out fat, that's enough for everybody to know to generally look this direction. Any questions on the call outs real quick?
Check your fire, I'm on your side.
Alright, so I'm gonna let Shades talk a little bit about some positioning in here. Like
Right,
where
so-
you stand on these dubs and shit like that.
Alright, so if you guys head downstairs, have Doc stay up there. Doc, you can stay up there. We're gonna give them visual representation. So everybody head downstairs. Face where Doc is. Stand where I am currently standing right now, and that will be your positioning if you walked inside the building. So Doc, I want you to go to the top of the staircase. So as you can tell, Doc is fully visible. Doc, I want you to slowly back up 3 meters. He's half visible, you can only see his body. Doc, back up 2 more meters. Can you see us, Doc?
Yeah, I can see about your waist and above.
Okay, so as you guys heard, he can see our waist, which is a big no-no. that means we're fucked. All you guys can see is Mr. Doc's head. If you are a terrible shot, which most of us are, unless you're a bolter, and even then it's risky, right? Mr. Doc has full rain of sight on us, and we're all gonna die, right? If we're not careful. If a good heavy's up there and he's using that angle where he's currently standing and dead, that's a problem. So let's head over where Doc was. So Doc, stand where you were.
The other bit about it though is like it's not just being right there, it's me being able to move back and forth just about 1 meter and make myself visible or not visible.
Yep. So as you can tell, a lot of players like to stand over here on the front side, and as Doc said, he saw basically our entire body and we saw him. But if you need a frame of reference, sometimes this little survey right here, this little computer panel is around to give you a frame of reference where he should be standing, but it usually isn't. The best way to remember is that there's always this gray strip that's on the bottom here. It's always there at all times. Use this gray strip to figure out where you need to stand if you want to make a head glitch, which is exactly what we're doing.
I was standing just behind that strip when you guys saw me earlier. I had my toes on the strip.
It's a good frame reference. So if you're going to position yourself properly on fat and you need a nice spot, especially if you're getting pushed back, this is where you would stand. Now, if you're in a squad with a building, then you're going to definitely need some good-ass engineers who know what the fuck they're doing. This is one of the times, so give me a moment here to go get another squad beacon and drop in with 2 fresh shields and give you guys some frame of reference.
I got beacons up.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I got some shields. You want?
Shields?
Wait, right. I don't have shields. I lied.
I got it. Don't worry about it. Coming back. Alright, so sometimes, and we're actually most times since you guys are in large outfits and you have people to play with, going into that back corner with the head glitch is sometimes not the best spot because other people might be using it, or B, you have too many friendlies in the front already using the front of the staircase, which is fine too. It's just it's not preferred, but with a good engineer who knows how to use his barricades really good, give people a lot of problems. So I'm gonna place the shield down here, just kind of get this out of the way. The first thing we're gonna do is a right angle peek with the staircase. So I'm gonna place my shield here at the top of the stairs, and any class can use this. Obviously, a right angle peek. It's not class restricted. What you're going to do, and I talked about this earlier, is once you hug a shield or you get as close as possible to it, if you tilt your head all the way down, your head can no longer be seen. As you can see, I tilted my head all the way down, which makes me basically impervious behind the shield, which is fantastic. A key thing to remember is you hug the shield all the way through. You need to be careful because, like Beowulf is doing, he will be shot at. So the key to doing that is to stand, like, is to, be as still as possible if you're going to, like, use the shield to recover all your health, right? And block your head. Now, in regards to right angle peek, the best way to do it is to crouch. Not hug the shield all the way through, but peek just enough where you can shoot, and then stop moving at that point in time, right? Until you get shot, then you can peek back. The idea of the right angle peek is it's supposed to... Sorry, you want to pause?
Yeah, I want you guys to see what the hell he's talking about with the right angle peek. Just hold still for a second, Shades. Don't ADS. Alright, I want everybody to put their crosshairs like dead in the center of Shade's head. Hold still.
Bear, you mean Beowulf's head?
Bear. Or Bear. We can do Bear. Alright, just stand up for a second, Bear. Alright, everybody put your crosshairs like dead center of his head, right? Now, Bear, without moving, I want you to ADS. Yeah, without moving, ADS. Alright, you see how his head tilts to the right? Your crosshairs go off a little bit. So it's always to his right. And so what Shay's talking about these right angle peaks is we're taking advantage of that. When you ADS, like when he's crouched down, go ahead and crouch down and he ADSs, he sticks his head behind the shield, right? Now on his screen, his crosshairs didn't move. His crosshairs didn't suddenly shift to the right. It's just a disconnect between your camera and your geometry seen in the rest of the world. And so as long as you have a corner against your right shoulder, you'll be taking advantage of that.
Much better said than me. So you guys understand exactly what he meant. I think once you guys did that, that was well explained. So that's one way to do it, right? And the thing is, you can make 2 right angle peaks at the front here, which then makes like a front position here pretty nice, right? So I used a 5 shield up there. Was that a 5 shield? That looks like a 5 shield. Let me put a 4.
How can you tell the difference?
So the difference between 5 and 4?
Yeah, physically.
So shield 5 is in slot 5 when you're in the game. If you have 2 shields.
He means by like looks, because
I thought you said
oh,
looks
looks.
like a
5.
Okay. Okay, so you're talking like...
Can you look at one and tell
know
which slot it
which on the
is?
ground.
Can't tell which slot 5 and 4 are in?
No, when
Not
it's
what
on the
they
ground.
they don't appear different when you place them.
Okay, that's. I thought you could. Sorry.
No, they don't appear different. You have to know it by number. So if you place a
Doc,
small shield
there's
or
a
whatever
little
it
quick you
was,
can go through there.
I think he was just referring to your comment where you said that looks like a 4 or a 5.
yeah,
He was confused.
I was trying to figure out which shield I was using. Apparently, I used a 4 first, not a 5, so that's why we have some problems here. So again, like I talked about, right? If you use a 4 first and then a 5, you won't be able to place 2 shields next to each other. But if you use a 5 first and then a 4, you'll be able to place both next to each other, which is the key. Back with more shields. Demonstrate that. The idea is if you have an engineer, he has 2 shields, you can place in the front and make more space, right? And when that happens, you'll be able to make an absurd amount of angles, including the head glitch we showed you guys standing at the gray line or where the computer console is. Has a chance to do that in a moment here. Make the right angle peak first with the 5 shield.
Stop shooting! We're on the same side!
I don't know if I can kill this shield. Can't deconstruct it either. Okay.
We have rockets.
Blast it. Be able to kill him cold here, I think.
I'm an engineer. I'll repair you.
Blown,
Yeah.
fellas? Okay.
I'm not getting an impact register.
Yeah, no health is taken off.
You know, not even a red circle.
Fire! I fight for Banu!
Hey, Shades, did I do it right at the bottom of the stairs this time?
Alright, so going back to the shields. Have a couple on the top here. So this is not the perfect scenario because you can't put it next to each other, but it's fine. As long as you have 2, it's nice. One you can make a right angle peak with. The other one you can't really make a right angle peak with, but it is placed in a way where you can edge the wall just a little bit as long as you ADS, and you'll be able to make some spectacular plays. You just have to be really, really careful. So Striker can still shoot me, obviously, but I do have some room to move back, which is nice. So this will give you a chance to, like, you know, make more space for you and your squad. At the same time, you'll still be able to use the head glitch on the back because there's space in the middle as well, right? And if it was a 5-4, you can still have space on the side, either to your left or your right, depending where they place it, to do the same thing, right? So just some key tips for you and your squads as you guys are figuring out where to stand on FAT. You either make space or you use the space that's available. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, Doc, you're up.
All right,
Yes.
let's run on over to triple stack across the way here. Alright, so there's a bit of symmetry to this building, and we take advantage of it here. This first room that we're all coming in, we're going to talk about the downstairs. We call the rooms,
Open.
in the downstairs we call them lobbies. The room that we're all in right now, this is called the open lobby. It's open because it has extra doors, right? There's 2 doors in here. These doors, we number them left to right. So the one we all generally came in, that was door 1. Over here is door 2, right? So this is open lobby. All right, we're crossing past the 50-50 point. This is the lower 50s that I'm in, this little hallway section. And now I'm over in the closed lobby. Over here in the closed lobby is a single door by itself. It's door number 3. So if you're just trying to kind of, you know, remember which ones are which, the one that's by itself is door 3. And this is the closed lobby. It's kind of closed because it only really has 1 door available to it. All right, everybody with me so far? All right, let's come on back into the open lobby here.
User joined your channel.
And this is how we'll kind of tie it together here. It'll make a lot of sense. We're going to go from the open lobby up the open stairs. These are the open stairs, and they lead into the open room, right? It's called the open room because it opens up onto the balcony. All right, so open lobby leads up open stairs to open room. And actually, if we were to continue on, these stairs, we don't call them stairs. We just call it open roof. All right, so the upper stairs that go onto the roof, we just call this open roof collectively. All right, so open roof, open room, down open stairs into open lobby. All right, it all makes kind of one continuous line. All right, Now I'm going to cross over here from open room through the upper 50s. And then into the closed room. All right, closed room because it doesn't have any access to the balcony. Everybody got that? Yeah, silence. Silence worries me.
Affirmative! Bitch.
Alright, so yeah, the 50s though, generally, you know, anytime you're doing callouts, you know, the amount of shit going on will determine how detailed you can be with your callouts. Sometimes, you know, if everybody's collectively shoved into the 50s, or shoved into the upstairs, you just say the 50s and they know that you're talking about the upper, right? Other times you actually have the bandwidth to say upper or lower 50s or something like that. Let me show you, let me go ahead and show you guys the trick jumps real quick, and then Shades will do the positioning here. We'll be doing lots of head glitching in this room. So let's start with, come on downstairs. Let's go outside here. We're going to go around, actually took the long way. We'll go around here to the outside of the balcony. We'll come back to one here. Alright, so we're going to cheat a little bit on this one, maybe. Outside the balcony here, there's two pieces of geometry. This rectangle right here at the end, and this other rectangle down here at the far end. These two pieces of geometry are always climbable. You may find some other pieces like these little horizontal grates that are sometimes climbable depending on the building, but the two rectangles at the end are always climbable.
Let me heal you.
And this particular building is kind of sat in the ground so that that left one down there is kind of hard to reach, but this one closest to me is pretty easy to climb up. So when you're coming up here, a couple things. Don't necessarily be gung-ho and go all the way up. Come up part way and head glitch yourself the rest of the way in case somebody's out on the balcony. Alright, but when you're up here, come on, jump back down. We'll go around to the side here. We'll show you the second trick jump. And these, by the way, you know, these are as far as easy, medium, hard, these are fairly easy. This next one is right over here on this one side. This little angle right here, you're going to actually climb up the right edge of this thing.
Boosted.
Yeah. Now, one thing that'll help out, you'll notice, like if I'm facing the edge from far away, it's a little bit thicker on the right and it's a little bit kind of lower on the left. When you climb up to the top, just keep on proceeding forward at kind of a 45-degree angle and climb straight up onto the thick part. It works a lot better. So yeah, when you get up to the top, just keep on going straight towards Shades and you'll kind of come up to that last bit. Alright, the final jump here, this one's actually kind of a medium jump here. Come on down here. This entire surface is climbable, but typically you'll start running into a little bit of stamina trouble trying to reach all the way to the top. So if you just go to these little pieces, these little nubs here on the side, if you can just make it up to those pieces of geometry, you can rest there and proceed on.
3 tips to climb this, fellas. You either A, go verticality, straight up, which is the hardest one to do because, as Doc said, you'll run out of stamina. As you can tell, I'm running out of stamina right now. I can either A, boost all the way up, possibly,
Shades,
because I'm spamming it, or we're at a cult tier.
Cool.
Or I'm going to get stuck like this, right? So that'll be a problem. The second tip you can do, which I think is much easier, is actually climb this from side to side. So I'm going to start at my bottom right here and then go all the way to the left, and I'll be up in no time, right? So it'll look like this. And boom, I'm up, right? From right to left. You can do the same thing from left to right. So look at the right bottom left and then approach my top right. You can do the same thing. Right.
Alright, so some things that this opens up. It's a little tricky, but out here where I'm at on the left, you got to kind of like Minecraft walk out here a little bit. Get past the halfway point, and you can go down and pull in.
So you're doing the Matrix.
Yeah, cool. I think I missed my jump a little bit. But yeah, you can get in around this side. Probably much better, though, is be sure that, you know, when you're taking advantage of these trick jumps, you know, coming in through odd angles, coming in through the balcony when they expect you downstairs, stuff like that. Also, don't neglect the windows. Be sure that once you're up an additional level, you know, take advantage of those windows. Don't think you have to come in the balcony. You can come in the side window as well. But that's pretty much it. Those 3 trick jumps are kind of the essentials for the triple stack. I'll let Shades talk about some positioning.
Alright, sounds good. Everybody back into the building. We're gonna go start from the top of the rooftop.
Everybody go to open roof.
Okay, so I think most people already know this, but just in case you didn't, you can use these pipes and shoot through them. My only biggest concern is a lot of people do it wrong. They'll use these pipes, these long ones, to shoot through. Don't do that. Use the small ones. It gives you more of an advantage, A, and B, you're less likely to be shot at, but you're not impervious. So I would keep that in mind, especially if you're defending from the roof and you're shooting at targets. Never stand up and shoot through the railing. Shoot under the railing and use the railings to shoot through. Best advice.
Or step back about 2 meters and head glitch over the top edge of the rail.
It also works too, but you won't be able to get an angle on more targets than not. So just keep that in mind. Depends on what target you're engaging and how you're engaging it. Okay, and that goes for basically the entire rooftop and how it's covered. All right, let's head downstairs. So whether you're on open roof or closed roof, generally 1 person or 2, depending on where they're standing, is in charge of guarding light assaults or galaxy drops from destroying you at the rooftop. More times than not, if it's galaxy drop, if you're 1 or 2 guys, you're probably dead anyway. So, your job's to delay or bait or grenade conk something to slow it down so the squad can help you. Or B, you're dealing with light assaults, and that's more than likely your job to handle, right? There's a lot of ways to approach this. Most people tend to stand right here. I say this is actually the dumbest thing to do. So if you see a partner or yourself standing anywhere in this little triangle, tell them to get out. It's the wrong thing. Best way to hold a rooftop, especially if you have allies defending your open or closed stairs, is to hug a piece of geometry. More likely than not, a piece of geometry that is... Oh shit, I warped through the fucking window. Go.
All hacks.
Yeah. Oh
I've
shit.
had that happen so many times in these triple stacks. You just teleport through.
Sometimes you'll teleport through, you would hug a piece of geometry. If you have allies defending you from the balcony, like over here, like somebody's standing where I'm standing right now on the spot and defending you, it is okay to expose yourself from the balcony. If you die, whatever, it's okay. It's more important this open or closed roof, depending where you're standing, is watched. Open is a little bit more different than closed in terms of how it's standing, but hug the piece of wall where I'm standing here and just AD back and forth. The reason you want to use this angle versus standing here is A, you're less exposed, and B, shotgun light assaults have to actually now approach you in the room to actually get you, right?
Shades, hold the shitty spot and I'll show people why.
Yep.
So just stand in the shitty spot, like that.
Oh,
that's
dead.
why.
Dead.
Yeah, that's a shotgun, and you're dead. Now back up a few feet, Shades. I have to come all the way down to here, and then I see his body.
So let me tell you what sucks when I'm coming down the stairs. If I'm on the attack, I'm coming downstairs. What sucks is if stuff gets out down here low to my right. Right? If stuff gets down kind of where Doc's at, jumping up and down right now.
Oh yeah.
If stuff gets down here, it just absolutely sucks because then they can client side back and forth a little bit with me, and if I want to deal with them, I really got to get myself exposed to lots more of the pie than I want to.
If I get on the roof,
so
that's the
if you're
first
over there
spot
where
I clear.
Sage is at, if you're over there where Sage is at, and shit starts getting hard, if he just strafes off to his left, it forces me to have to expose myself to the room, which I really don't want to do. And typically, if he does that, I'll maybe back off a little bit, because I'm trying to slice the pie coming down here, and getting out where Striker's at just fucks that up.
Yep, and believe it or not, folks, guarding this when shit is hitting a fan is probably the most important job next to holding the balcony if you are in a squad holding.
Also, Striker, if you're holding that spot and shit's hitting the fan, if for some reason balcony's closed off or whatever, crouch right here. So that way you can you'll shoot people if they're jumping up. Cause if they do the jump up like Shade shows you guys, they come up here. If I get here, and this is usually the first spot I clear.
Don't actually stay right where Striker is if somebody's approaching the roof though, because you'll just get your head blown off. But that general vicinity where you can kind of duck back from that, come out to there to fire, but duck back.
All right, so that covers open roof. Let's head over to closed roof side, which is a little bit different, but the concept is the same. In fact, closed roof is a little easier because they're kind of forced to push you. So again, don't stand in the triangle. Your ass gonna be killed. It's on both sides. Don't do it. It's recommended. Back up a little bit. And the nice thing about closed stairs is you can back up quite a bit, right? The only thing is, there's a couple spots you have to be worried about. Even though in theory they're good, you have to keep some movement up. So where striker's standing is fine if you AD. Do not stand still, because this wall right here for the enemy when they're pushing in is a natural client side.
heaven.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although they are exposing themselves to the entirety of the room, they can still client side you. So if you are standing here, make sure you're consistently ADing. That'll give you a little bit more of an advantage if you choose this spot.
Because
if you
it's
don't,
not just pros client siding here. Anybody that comes, any noob that comes down this stair that doesn't even know what client siding is going to client side you from here.
it's a natural client side, so just be aware of that. It's a double negative, right? So spot one, spot two. Sometimes it's better or worse depending on what's open and what's not. So as you guys can see in this closed room, there's closed windows. Sometimes this closed window is blocked off and this spot becomes amazing, right? Sometimes it's open like this, or it's completely open and you're in more deeper shit, and then you have to be careful where you're standing. If it's open in this case, then you can AD between you, the wall here, and then back to cover as you're pushing.
And I'm not sure. Yeah, and what sucks as an attacker to have to deal with somebody there is, again, I have to expose myself to way more of the room than I want to get an angle on dealing with somebody over there. And if I pull back behind cover, Shades can charge me. And if he charges up, like, you know, come up these stairs here, what happens is, like, I have nowhere to go.
The client side on our end is reversed as well,
yeah,
so
the client
now you
side
have
is
the
reversed, and once he gets exposed, I can't fall back behind anything.
Also, if both these windows are open, if you stand right in the middle where I am, you can't be seen from either window.
Yep.
This is like a nice safe spot right here. And you can, if you have like an NS-15, this is a good spot to just strafe. Shades, have you shown him the head glitching on the staircases here?
Nah, yeah, we haven't gotten that part yet.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay, since you can right now.
Cool. Alright, everyone go to the bottom of the staircase.
I'm gonna get some sound. Let me tap the back 5.
Like, go to the bottom, just stand on the floor, like you were gonna peek this and try to clear it, like here. Oh, I'm gonna come up. I can see almost all of the upper halves of both your bodies. What can you see of me?
Just your head and shoulders.
Yep. Yeah. And if you client side out, like this is another good one too that Shades, like, you can play. This one's really strong. The only thing with this one is that like bank nades off this wall, they're really fucking easy. Aim at the yellow line and you just bounce it and it goes right to that spot. You just bounce it off the yellow line and that's always a good bounce.
Yeah, we missed 2 things in the powerhouse.
If they have a barrier here, throw it at the ridge above the yellow line, it will go over the barrier. So if there's no barrier, you hit the yellow line, it'll land right here. If they have a barrier at the top of the stairs, throw it at this ridge, and it'll bounce over the barrier and you'll hit everybody behind it.
And I guess probably the last kind of maybe thing I would throw in here, that I just see other outfits do differently. I oftentimes see people, they will dig in at the top of the stairs, and they will discard the whole second floor. And they're dug in tight, and they got lots of people up here and lots of firepower and stuff like that. But they are really, really dense up there and really ripe for grenades. And if there's no place to fall back to, if they get crushed, it's typically over. So generally speaking, you gotta make at least a fight for the lobbies, right? You gotta.
This is a good peak right here too. Like this is pretty solid. If you have an NS-15, this peak's very powerful because you're gonna slide back and forth faster, like you're doing. Like if you ADS, and that's gonna cause your head not just move left and right, but it's gonna move up and down as well. And if you throw in like a tap crouch, it makes you nearly impossible to headshot. Like if you're defending this, that's a good like 90-degree peak. If you have like 2 squads in the building, the good bottom story holds are if there's a big box here, behind this big box is good, and then you can retreat when somebody throws a conk. This solid 90-degree corner is pretty good, but this is like you're on an island here. Like if you play this, you're playing alone, and you're gonna rely on you're getting like 2 or 3 when people come in.
Yeah. Also keep in mind. Another really prime defense spot for the roof stairs is the main stairs. because you can kind of head glitch off to the the roofs. So yeah, you can put a pretty fat hold on good portions of the triple stack from just a single stair. I don't know, any other positioning stuff for triple stacks?
We covered the reverse closed roof hold by holding the staircase if you own the first floor. At all? I don't know if you guys did. I came back.
No, I didn't really cover that.
Okay,
I just
so
barely mentioned about using
the last
stairs.
thing about holding, so more times than not, if you have a squad that owns the first floor, you can actually hold the closed roof and the open roof in the most ideal way possible. So where I'm currently standing and facing is how you would hold the closed roof in an ideal world, right? If you own the first floor, it's super secure, and you don't really have many enemies on the bottom, and your squad's doing great down there. If you're a second floor holder, you're going to hold it on the reverse angle. You're going to use the actual open and closed stairs on either side and wait for targets to come in. This is actually the safest way to hold both the rooftops if you own the first floor. But again, keep that in mind, right? Your guy on balcony still can have to hold the balcony, and now he is at risk to get shot at. But he's less at risk of getting shot at if you are still in the staircase holding the angle, correct? You get that? Clear? Okay, I'm gonna take that silence as a yes. What's the next building?
Oh, what is the next building? I guess we're gonna do, let's go do this L building real quick, over here at Squadway.
Yep. Running short on time, so I won't be able to know we're gonna cover it by 11. If not, we'll cover it next week.
Alright, so real quick, this is called the L building. We are coming in what is called the skinny end of the building. Everything in here is going to be labeled based on this. So we're at the skinny end of the building. We're going to go up skinny stairs and then down the other side to the fat end of the building. Alright, now these doors are just labeled 1, 2, 3 on each end. So the first door is actually underneath the catwalk. Door 1, door 2 is out here to the side. Door 3 is this one that kind of faces straight out the fat. All right. The catwalk is this area over here. The balcony is actually reserved for the area that's outside, right? And there's 2 doors that go to the balcony: fat balcony and skinny balcony. Those are your 2 doors. Fat balcony, the door down here by me right now. Skinny balcony being the other one. What do? We call understairs, or do we call that cubby down here?
Cubby.
Yeah, cubby is that area kind of underneath the stairs. Trying to think if there's anything else. That's really about it. There's one piece of geometry I'll show you. There's no real trick jumps to this building, but come on out to the balcony. I'll point something out here. There's a lip that goes all the way around here. This, depending on where this piece of asset is placed, will go all the way around the entire building. If you don't fall off like me. But it'll go all the way around the entire building at access to all the windows and the balcony. And that's the L building. Any questions?
Cool, no questions? Alright, so quickly we'll show you guys a couple of interesting angles you can do if you're inside the cubby, if you have engineers. Real quick, I'll make it like a 30-second session. So I created a little peak, like a little peeking angle here. Basically, if you have, you'll usually find this little computer terminal, or I guess you can say power core, like in your cubbies more times than not. If it is, you can use this as a piece of cover, and then you can put a shield where I put it here, and use it as in an outie, right, kind of deal to peek this corner, or you can hug it completely, as close as you can. Then use the side of it as you hug down and up to shoot targets, right? And the problem with this for the enemy is, even though they can completely see you, and you're recovering your shield, they either have to A, toss a grenade to get you out of there, right? Or B, they have to push you. And they have to push you through this angle. And you can see them coming, right? Which is a huge problem for them. So, based on that, you have 2 options. A, let them push you completely, and then take out your honor boss and whip them in the face. B, let them get really close, and then start crawling. Like, you can either crouch and do this, especially if you have cat-like, you can crouch and do this, or you can stand up, whatever you prefer. as long as you're keeping yourself safe. And strafe to the right, and what it's going to do for them is now, because they're pushing you, and you're hugging this wall, and you're doing a hip fire client side. Remember, you're not ADSing for this one where you're standing up. You've already given yourself 2 advantages. One, they're pushing you in a little deep corner. B, they're fighting a hip fire client side where at this point you just got up from a shield that was recovering and saw him actually push. So you just made yourself a 2v, like a 1v1 scenario that's almost impossible to win if you're careful. It's one of those visual mind fucks you can fuck with people if you have that little kind of like geometry in the area. So something to keep in mind for your engineer or somebody using the engineer shields. You can do it on both sides, right? It's not exclusive just to that side. It's also good for the other side as well. So I place one here. The idea is basically the same. Right. And more times than not, you have an ally inside too, so it's even a double bonus. Does that make sense? Alright, cool. Don says yes. What other buildings we have here? We got the L shape and we got the double stack, but those are pretty simple.
2 people holding under here, by the way, guys, like, is insane. Like if you ever go into a biolab and there's a good player under here and they fucking dunk you, there's a reason why. Like, the minute you get in here, you can just farm kills. Every peak is, like, pretty client-sided, like, for you. And there's no real place for anything, like, super stupid to get a long angle on you.
Yep.
Also, if there's something in here in the middle, like this power core or the normal dividers they put in here, like the little lockers, like, it's an excellent way to catch nades. So, like, you can peek out, shoot a guy. If they throw a nade, you go to the near side. If the grenade goes to the back, or if the grenade hits the front of you, you just go around behind and hide. Like, I've farmed like 15 to 20 kills out of this spot in biolabs consistently. Like, you just get in here and then just literally be annoying. Also, if you run out of ammo on both your guns, you're afraid to be a decimator primary. It's very Bushido.
Great advice.
And then if you run out of ammo on that, you pull out your knife.
Underboss?
No, you can run out of ammo on everything.
Oh,
also, the underboss is overrated, okay? The explosive crossbow is the way to go.
Alright, so for the sake of time, I don't think double stacks really need to be covered for you guys. If you need reference to the double stack, it's basically 2 floors, 1 door in the front, 1 door in the back. Pretty simple. You can find the double stack, I believe, on slide 36. Yep, it's there. Or in slide 37. No,
For reference, the double stack is over here. If you don't know what a double stack looks like.
35, 34. Yeah, excuse me. It's going to be 32 to 35. 36 is V-shape. The V-shape we're not going to cover as well because it's super simple, and it's only
pillbox.
Doors. Pillbox we're going to do in the biolab. Alright, so let's go find a biolab. There's most likely one on cult tier. Yep, it's at Xander Biolab, so we will drive there, fly there, or put a beacon down. So I'll get it. Hang on. That'll be the last space we talk about tonight for the sake of time.
Yeah, while we're there, let's make sure we cover. I've skipped at the trick jump on the powerhouse to get on the roof.
That's fine. Beacon down for y'all that need it, or whoever's the first safe. Whatever works.
That was unfortunate.
User left your channel.
Alright, beacons up. Everybody head inside. Doc, Quinn, you guys are up.
Ooh, what are we doing? Covering all the trick jumps in here?
Oh man.
You want to do trick jumps? Okay, go ahead.
Alright, yeah. We can do trick jumps real quick. Alright, I'm gonna start trick jumping. Here it comes. Gonna hit these little trees right here. This thing's climbable. This particular one, if you go up 2 hops, gives you a little fire over the top of that wall that way. Alright, all these walls right here, these are all climbable. You saw in Rails video. Alright, 2 tap jumps to get over the top of them.
Key trick, especially if you're using these trees and you're attacking the violet. If you're a bolter and you have cloak, jump up this, take your damn shot, get off.
Yeah, don't stay up there. You'll get shot to pieces. Alright, come over here real quick. This works on both sides of, let's call this building the airpad hut. There's these little cylinders outside from the stairs. You can get on top of these. Small one, then big one.
Common call out for most outfits is the eye building for these little small eyes or
Yep.
single one shapes.
Also, take a look at the edge of the roof on it. It looks like I have those like horizontal, like fluorescent bulb looking texture on it, right? Wherever you come across a building that has this texture, that shit's climbable. So you tap on it and climb it.
Again, it's on both sides, so if you need demonstration, just find me on the other side. Demonstrate from this side as well.
Yeah, I think it's easier on the other side.
This side is, yeah, definitely easier.
It's on the easier on the inside.
Yep. Or high elevation on this one.
Yep, and this offers a fantastic head glitch out onto the air pad. Also, once you're up here, offers a fantastic head glitch along the wall of the powerhouse down here. So enemies will be coming from that spawn. If you combine that, kind of get to where Doc is standing right here, I can work towards that powerhouse, like in that tiny little V of, visible shooting angle there. And you can just do, forward, back, side to side, change the angle. All right, let's keep on moving here. Let's head on down in here. This area that I'm in is called the jungle. All right, it's got the swampness around it here. This spot I'm standing in, I'm sorry I'm making it a thing. This is Fort Doc. I haven't been in this one. This is where we're at right here. Fort Doc is beautiful because I swear to God, you can stand right here. People can come out of the spawn and just crash like a wave and go right past you and not even notice you. Try this place out next time you're in a biolab pushing on offense. Try this place out. All right, come on over here. These trees, I'll let you play around in your own spare time. There's lots of places to climb up on them. One I'm going to go for is right here. This will get me so I can hit one of those fluorescent bulbs on the side of this building here. I can get up on top of this building. The thing that's nice about this one, it has this branch that comes out over the top of it, gives you a little head glitch up here. You are a bit vulnerable from the powerhouse, so keep an eye out for it. Also, lots of places are vulnerable from the tower. And if you're feeling froggy, take your cloaker, stalker, whatever, and you can climb all the way to the top of these trees if you go explore it. But let's kind of move on. Come on in through Skinny on the powerhouse. We're gonna go meet me at Dub's right at the powerhouse if everybody knows how to get there. Alright, so right outside Dub's right, this is kind of a tricky jump out here. This is how you get on the roof of the powerhouse. If you blow it, don't worry about it. Our next trick jump's going to be from the ground down there. So there's a couple things here. I'm going to point these out. These little triple stripes, they are somewhat climbable. That little V shape that's in the middle is somewhat climbable. Also, the edge that's facing us of this gold strip is climbable. Now, individually, you're going to hit your stamina limit on any one of those. So what kind of works well is to go from one to the other to the other. So I'm going to go kind of up this, then up this, then up this, and then to the top. This is what I'm gonna call this one a hard difficulty jump. But if you can nail it regularly, it's really powerful.
There's a sight.
Yeah. And whether you got it or not, go ahead and jump down to the ground. We're gonna do our next trick jump over here. Alright, this one, this first tree that you come to, just go straight at it, right up the middle and over the top.
Whoa, that jumps you high.
Yeah, and this will get you up. This spot is like some psychological blind spot. I don't know what's up, but enemies just don't look over here a lot when they're coming across the, coming across the walkways. All right, come on, jump on back down the way we came up. We're gonna go around the outside perimeter here. And a very underused method of getting to the crescent. come on up here to the crescent and then just jump on down outside. It's not so much a trick jump, but I guess just a spot a lot of people don't know. A way to surprise people inside the crescent is come out here and jump up. This little wedge, this little corner right here is climbable. You can get up there. All right, let's go ahead and proceed on. I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother, hopefully wherever you come from, everybody knows how to get up on the rocks here. Yes.
Yep.
All right, and do you guys know, like, have you explored around up there and to know enough, like, you can make it all the way into the center tower and stuff like that?
I didn't know about the center tower.
Yeah, if you proceed across that, the girders that separate, you know, if you get onto the crescent, go across the crescent onto the powerhouse, there's a corner from the powerhouse where you can reach the center tower.
Guys, you're in the right direction. There you go. Yep. Look at you guys. You already know exactly where it is. Yeah, there you go. Alright, there I did it, Doc. They all did it.
Nice, nice. All right.
Rush there.
Alright, so there are also some other ones. I believe this wall over here is climbable. Is another way to get kind of on top of, you know, the rock structure.
I know
Don't
this side
really
over here
recommend it because you're really exposed, kind of pulling that shit off.
The center tower just literally threw me off.
It'll happen from time to time if you're not careful.
Doc,
Yeah.
you can go up this one as well.
Yeah, there's a couple surfaces on this rock. Yeah, there we go. Can't say I use these too much. I don't think I'm very good at them.
Not many people do, just because it's like if you're attacking
very
this biolab, you're really fucking exposed. But it's a climbable one, very climbable.
Yeah. All right. So generally, some other. Let me just kind of finish up the call outs real quick. You guys are. We went over the jungle already. Come on over here towards the enemy spawn. Alright, so there's lots of little paths around boxes and maybe through some of these huts and stuff like that. But ultimately, coming out of the spawn, they dump out right about where I'm standing. This is a front door. Alright, the three ways out of the spawn are go out through the jungle, go through the front door, or go over here to this other area, which is called the forest.
Don't forget the pillbox, too. That's between the front door and the forest.
Yep. Yeah, this pillbox is this thing right here. Yep. It's good to have a call out for it, especially if people get on top of the pillbox. Enemies get inside the pillbox. But yeah, forest is over here. It leads off into that, you know, triple stack, which is A building. Let's see. The airpad hut, I think I pointed out. And
yeah, we basically covered everything in the biolab.
Yep.
Probably the most important thing to now know is, like, you guys have been playing, so you already know about it, but biolabs typically don't work with them just coming from the spawn room anymore, right? They're going to come from multiple angles now. They can either come from a teleport on the fat side, or they can even come from a teleport around where the crescent building is. So these orientations and calls are nice to know, but I'm just going to be flat out honest with most of you is you probably won't use them too much nowadays just because of how biolabs are oriented and set up. So it's more important to know the powerhouse building for sure. That's like probably asset number 1 now. And it's also very important to know the L building because if anything, they'll strike those two first before they come from their own spawn room if they have a teleport available. So I would keep that in mind. It's good to have setups out here, but it's not really mandatory at this point. You're
yeah,
gonna most likely need like 2 squads too.
Anymore.
Yeah. Back in the day, it was fantastic. These calls were meta. Now no longer is. So something to remember. Otherwise, we are for the most part done with you guys.
Look at that cup.
You guys had a chance to review a lot of the videos. If you still need reference to those videos, it's in the PowerPoint slides. There's also addition documentation from Rapid Assistance. Some of you might know him, some might not. He has a whole slide set under slide 37 for you guys for wall jumps, and then I have an entire slide set for some jumps and all the callouts on slide 38. So if you have to ever reference this stuff again, it's under slide 37, 38. Otherwise, you guys are all done, man. Anybody have any questions? No questions. Okay.
Wait. I say we have a demonstration of something while everyone's still alive. Like have the new people hold a place while y'all try to come in or some shit. I don't know.
Ask your alpha to do that. I want to go to sleep.
Well, fuck you too.
Ask the
I
Praetorian
gotta,
to do that.
yeah, I
I'm
gotta
sure they
take a
can do
break
that.
and get some
Yeah.
responsibilities. Then I'm gonna come back on and play on some live here.
Yeah, so
I'll be
if you
back
want to
in
do
seconds.
something like that, take everything you learned tonight, bring it back to SKL, and be like, hey dudes, B-Way taught us something cool. Let's go hang out at the Coltier and do some shit, yeah?
Or you could
Yeah,
literally just go
whatever.
farm a biolab.
Or go farm a biolab and figure it out, yeah. You got it. Alright, otherwise you guys are free to go. For the SKL players, if you want to attend B-Way scrims tomorrow, make sure to go to your Praetorian leads. There's 2 of them currently available. I will give them the limit of how many people are coming tomorrow afternoon, so you'll know. But I would recommend you sign up early and ask them, hey, if I can show up tomorrow, and they'll put you in line first. It's first come, first serve.
How did the scrims work? Because I've never done them before, but I really want to.
Basically, depending on a feeling of how many people I think I show up, we try to not bring too many SKL players because that will tilt the balance of the actual scrim, and too many players is a problem.
There's an AODR
User
guy
joined your
here.
channel.
Otherwise, for the most part, just sign up first, and your Praetorian squally should let you know whether you are coming to the scrim or
User
not if you sign up.
disconnected from your channel.
As long as you do that, you're good. Any other questions?
What's
No.
going on, Shades?
That's it. Alright, you guys are adjourned. The official SKL, GSLD that didn't show up, and official fleet that didn't show up, training is over. Week 3 next week will be
User
covered
left your channel.
about client side and probably some more wall shield stuff. I'll probably edit it pretty soon and get that up to speed for you guys. Otherwise, y'all done. Good luck.
Hope you all have a great night, everybody.
You too.
Peace.
See ya, doggo. We'll now delete the channel. Bye, everybody.
User